Hello everybody and welcome. It's Wednesday evening, starting a little bit early tonight. It'll be ready at 6:30 when some people might think to tune in. I hope everybody's doing okay, that you've had a good week. If not, then I hope tonight is an encouragement to you, and I hope you have a good rest of the week. We sent out a mail out. Hopefully you got that maybe today, or you'll get it tomorrow. And if you don't get one, let me know and I'll get you on our mailing list. Tonight we're going to talk about picking others up and encouraging people, being uplifters. And so we're going to sing a song, Heaven Came Down, and then I'm going to switch it over to Brenda over here and then talk a little bit more in a bit. So if you want to sing with us, if you know this one, sing with us. Heaven Came Down. Start with the chorus. Yeah, it was high enough. Wouldn't have done that if I didn't realize how high it was. All right, we're going to swing over for our kids feature here. There you are.
I don't know if it's so much kids, but it's anybody that wants to watch and listen. Am I too high up if I stand here?
I gotcha.
Okay. All right. So, of course, we're getting to the pumpkin season. We've been in the pumpkin season. If you haven't been to the pumpkin patch yet, then you need to go and get you some pumpkins. This is one that I got. It's a big old white one. It's pretty. I don't want to cut them yet because if I cut them now, then by Halloween, mine are usually like shriveled. They don't look very good. So I like to keep them around a bit. But you can decorate them other ways. I have a bunch of stickers. So you can do some stickers, put some stickers on them. And make them look really cute while they sit on the porch or wherever. You can do any kind of stickers you want, any kind of, but I thought these were really cute ones. This Miss Joellen brought these to church, so I'm going to use some of them tonight. Thank you, Miss Joellen.
She's watching.
Yeah, thank you. And you know, when you cut your pumpkin, it's kind of cool in it to cut your pumpkin and then you can put a light in the middle of it. And at night, if you light that candle or turn on that flashlight or whatever that you've got in there, the light shines out, doesn't it? So you get the idea. You can put all kinds of things on there, decorate it, make it look pretty. But when you cut it and you put a light in the middle of it, at nighttime that light shines through. And you know what that always reminds me of is God's light in us. That when we love God and come to know Him and want to let other people know about God, it's like we're shining God's light out of us. So that always at jack-o'-lanterns always remind me of that it's God's light inside of us that shines out through us. The words we say, the things that we do, places we go, the ways that we help people, that's how God's light shines out through us. So anyways, you can decorate your pumpkin. You put stickers, all kinds of stickers on there. You can color on it. You can paint on it. I did one the other day, and I put crayons on here with hot glue, and then I took my hairdryer and I melted the crayons, and the crayons ran down around the pumpkin. It was really cool. Made it look all different colors and all, and it was textured too, so it was kind of cool. All right, so I'm gonna move that over here. It's kind of big, and so I made another kind of pumpkin, and this is a little more challenging. So for you, a little bit more mature people watching, you might want to do this one. I don't know. So this is a pumpkin. I don't know if you can see it very well in there or not. Okay. Well, it's made out of a book. It's just made out of a book like this. And what I did was, it takes a while, and it takes some effort, and it takes some elbow grease. So you go around and you cut. See, I've cut these pages.
Took the hardcover off.
Took the hardcover off. I had a hardcover on. Took the hardcover off, and it leaves just the pages by itself. So you cut with a razor knife, which is definitely an adult job to do, because it's sharp, and you do have to put some muscle into it. Cut your pages, and so when you get them all cut, you just take the whole book and you turn it around like this, and see, that's how you get your pumpkin. And it turns out like this. And I just put some cinnamon sticks in the middle of it, like with hot glue, and tied some twine around it, so it makes it look like the stem of the pumpkin. And then if you want to take some orange spray paint and just lightly spray paint around it, you can do that, or you can just leave it like this. Use it anytime you want. So anyways, that's another thing that I did. Different kind of pumpkin. Okay, this is not a pumpkin. This is a Pringles can that my grandson Ryder left here. So thank you, Ryder, for leaving this and giving me an inspiration for this craft. So I got to thinking, you know, if you're going house to house this year for Thanksgiving, for Halloween, we have to take some extra precautions, don't we? So one thing that you can do, instead of taking your bag or a basket or box of candy that you've collected at every house to every door with you, why not take a Pringles can. You can cover it with paper. All I did was just glue the paper onto the Pringles can. You can also decorate the Pringles can with your stickers. You can also get some glow-in-the-dark stickers. That would be really cool. And put those. I was going to do a little ghost, because there was a cute little ghost in here a while ago. I think the ghosts are cute. Anyway, so you're saying, well, what are you going to use this thing for? It's not very big, and I know you want to collect more candy than that. Here's a cute little ghost. Anyways, after you get it decorated, you can take this with you to each house, up to each door, if you're going door to door, and just, it gives a little bit extra extension from you to the end of that for the person to put their candy in for you. So you can say, you can hold that out, they'll put their candy in, and you say thank you very much, then you go to your car, and you can dump it into your big bag or sack or box in your car. So just an idea, something a little different, maybe make it a little bit safer if you're going door to door this year. Just be very careful and wear a mask of some kind, and your Halloween mask, remember, doesn't protect you, but so you need a little other mask to go with it. So make sure you use some extra precaution this year, but have a good time. And if you want some extra fun, will I see this the right way?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So at our church, Elmo Baptist Church in Scott City, on Halloween, Saturday the 31st, from
3 to 5.
3 to 5 in our parking lot, we're going to have a drive-through trunk or treat. And you say, what is a drive-through trunk or treat? So we will have some cars parked, and their trunks of their cars are going to be decorated, and you will drive in your car around the parking lot to those different cars, and we will give out a bag of candy and some other goodies in that drive-through area. So all you have to do is come, stay in your car, drive through, and grab some things, and you're on your way. And it's from 3 to 5, so you got plenty of time to do the rest of your trick-or-treating that night. But this is a little bit extra, something fun that'll be fun to do. And if we haven't seen you in a while, I hope you come so we can say hi to you, as we've missed everybody. And this will give us a chance to see everybody. All right. Thank you.
Hey, talk about that, the houses that are decorated over by Dennis Skively Park.
Oh, if you want to drive through a really cool place over here in Cape by Dennis, and I'm not sure how to say
Skively.
that. Skively Park. It's off of Lexington Road.
Cape Rock.
Off of Lexington. It's off Lexington? Oh, it's off of
Cape Rock.
Cape Rock, I'm sorry. It's off of Cape Rock. Dennis Skively Park. Turn into the park. You go straight back basically to a subdivision, and if you go at night, you'll see all the lights. There are like 5 or 6, maybe 8 yards,
maybe 8,
decorated, lighted with Halloween stuff.
both sides of the
Really
street.
cool, both sides of the street. There's people walking up and down the street too, so you got to be careful and watch for pedestrians and just watch for people in front of you. But it's really, really cool and fun to see. A real festive time, and it's a neat kind of a thing. So enjoy that too.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And the neighbors work together, even houses that are across the street. One house has a cable that's connected from one side of the street over to the other, and then something like a ghost.
And it goes, flies back and forth across the road.
Yeah, it's really fun. Okay. Well, I want to talk for a second tonight about being an encourager. I think one of my roles, or my job, my life is to be an encourager, and that's what I try to do here midweek as we have our time together on Sundays and every other day in between those, because there are many people who need to be picked up, who are down, right? Many people in today's world, including us sometimes, including Christians, find ourselves down. We're knocked down, fallen down, feeling down because of all that's going down. I made that up, so I'm going to say it again.
That's deep.
We find ourselves down, knocked down, falling down, feeling down because of all that's going down. And people need to know that there's a way to get back up. They need to hear about God's mercy and God's grace. And that's part of a pastor's job to do that, but it's all of our jobs. There's a tremendous need for uplifting. I remember one church I was in, we had prayer requests, prayer chain kind of a thing. And the person that did it would always say, please uplift so-and-so, John Smith, as he's having surgery, something like that. I thought, well, when I first looked at it, I thought, uplift, that's not really a word. Let's lift somebody up. So I looked it up, and, that's a perfect, you can use that as a noun or a verb or an adjective, uplifting, but uplift means to lift up, to offer up. There's a tremendous need for uplifting, and we need it, and other people need it too. And you may think that it's not your nature or your personality to be a rah-rah cheerleader type. Also, your own situation in your own life, you may not feel like, because you have some layer of stress or illness or something that keeps you from being naturally focused on others. You may not feel like doing that. But you don't have to be that way personality-wise. You don't have to be a cheerleader. You don't have to be a rah, enthusiastic person all the time. I've been watching a documentary about comedians, and the more I've seen and read about a lot of the famous comedians like Robin Williams and others is that most of them are quiet when they're not on stage. Most of them are kind of down, depressive, but they can turn it on, to be a comedian. Well, we don't have to be a comedian. We don't have to be super excited all the time to build other people up. We just have to be focused on other folks. There's a great need for us to fill, and that's the role of being an uplifter. So I want you to think about that word and that job. I know uplifter is probably not a real word, but we need to be uplifters, uplifting people in prayer. Our church is big on prayer. I'm so thankful for that we are a praying church. Picking people up who have fallen is part of our job as a church, as Christians, as believers. People who are knocked down or feeling down. And again, we don't have to be comically enthusiastic all the time. I think of those reggae songs like Don't Worry, Be Happy. And I think it's Bob Marley that has the song Everything's Gonna Be All Right, which is a good song. But you don't have to make people laugh to be an encourager. You may need to sometimes keep them from jumping off a cliff. Encouragers don't have to be blindly optimistic in that we pretend that the challenges we face are not big ones. They are big ones at times. The wonderful thing about the Bible is that it does not take some Pollyanna kind of view that everything is beautiful and that things will always turn out fine all the time. Tragedy is a big part of Bible stories that we read and narratives. Suffering, inhumanity do exist and are major themes in the Bible. So people who are uplifters help bring clarity to the moment. To be able to say when somebody's panicking and in great fear, to be able to help people to see clearly in the moment and not look at the whole future and think, oh, everything's terrible, nothing's ever going to work again, I'm done, I'm finished. We need to inspire people, help them interpret the moment, capture the moment where they are, focus on the promises of God, focus on the power of God, and not panic about everything. So we help people in the moment of panic and fear to get a better perspective on the moment. And then another thing we're to do is to help people see the long view. To help people see the long view. There's more to life than what we see in this moment, where we feel closed in without options. We need to see the big picture. There's even more than what we see in this particular season. Right now we're going through the pandemic stuff and the divisions in our country and the negative things we hear coming out in the election season. There's life on the other side of the pandemic, of the election. There's life on the other side. We need to look at the big picture of your life situation, of my life situation. To be able to say, you'll get through this. To be able to say, this is what the future holds, and it's bright. God is there in the future. God is with us. God's got something for you. People need to be strengthened with hope, with renewed hope. Think of that phrase, renewed hope. Our message has to be more than just describing how things ought to be. You talk to some people and there's just griping and complaining, and this is the way things should be, but they're not. We have a hope that will surely endure. That's part of that song, Heaven Came Down. And it's not just the hope of heaven. We have the hope that there's heaven, and there's hope that things will get better here as well. Some people are so into some form of an end times theology that they see no hope in this world and that things are just spiraling out of control and digressing. And maybe that's happening, but people have been saying that for 2,000 years. We should live like we have many tomorrows, but be ready for Jesus' return today. It's like that phrase we say, we should pray like everything depends on God, which it does, but we should work like everything depends on who? On us. So for all of us, not just me, pick up others. Be an uplifter. Think of the story of the Good Samaritan. A literal story of picking someone up who's been beaten. People figuratively who have been beaten down all around us. All of us feel beaten down at times. Help others see the long view. Help other people see the big picture. God is in control. God wins. Death is not the victor. The pain will end. Things may not get perfect, and they won't get perfect until we reach heaven. You may have some pain all the way through the rest of your life. But we strengthen other people with renewed hope. Why the word renewed? Because sometimes hope runs out like a subscription. You ever get something on your computer or on your phone that says it's time to renew your subscription? You go, oh. But you got to renew hope. Sometimes our hope gets thin, and we have to re-up. I knew they were going to chime in at some point.
It's turn.
We need to fill up the hope tank again for ourselves and for other people too.
Apple.
I have this book on Kindle that's called Bringing Out the Best in People by Dr. Lloyd McGinnis. And that's part of our calling, I think, to bring out the best in other people. You bring out the best in other people by bringing out the best in you, right? We need to give other people our best. I love 1 Corinthians 13. We reserve that a lot of times for weddings. Love is this. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. One translation of that verse, 1 Corinthians 13:4, is that love looks for a way to be constructive. That's a Phillips translation. The whole verse is, this love of which I speak is slow to lose patience. It looks for a way of being constructive. It is not possessive. It is neither anxious to impress, nor does it cherish inflated ideas of its own importance. I like that. In other words, love looks for ways to improve someone else's life. Love brings out the best in other people. Have you heard people talk about their spouses and say, she brings out the best in me, he brings out the best in me? I can say that about Brenda. She brings out the best in me. And that's the way we ought to look at marriage. It's the way we ought to look at relationships in life, to bring out the best in people by letting God bring out the best in us. Don't just get up tomorrow morning thinking about yourself or how to make your own life better. Think about how you can make someone else's life better, okay? I'll try that. I'm working on that. Now, ask yourself, who can I encourage today? Who can I build up? You have something to offer those around you that nobody else can give. Your story is a story nobody else has. Your resources are resources that no one else has in the same way. Someone in your life needs your encouragement. They may be right next to you. They may be in the same house. They may be in the same town. They may be far away. You can text, you can email, you can do something in person. Someone needs to know that you believe in them today. Think about that. Who is that person? God's counting on you to bring out the best in your family and friends. They're counting on you to do that. They may not know it, but if none of them are doing it, you can start doing it. Bring out the best in them, and then they in turn will say, yeah, I like how that feels. I'm going to do that too. So here's my challenge. Why don't you ask the Lord to give you creative ways to bring out the best in others? Pray for God to show you how to help and encourage people you live with, people you encounter along your path. Maybe you're out and about every day and encounter other people. Maybe you're at home and can encounter people in other ways. But as you encounter people, if you're out at work, at the store, at church, at school, wherever you are, pray for God to show you how to help another person. And not just focus on yourselves, because our default is always to turn inward and think about ourselves and how we feel. We have a headache or a stuffy nose or your tummy's upset or something. That's always going to be our first focus, and we've got to default out of that. Yeah, we've got to take care of ourselves. We also have to work to focus on other people. So let me lead us in a word of prayer as we close out. Father, thank you for always loving us, and thank you for believing in us and always building us up. Thank you that that's good news. That is such good news, that's your focus. I ask you that you show each of us creative ways to encourage and build up the people around us. Help us to make others better. Help each of us to be an example of your love. I pray for those who have special needs. I'm thinking about Betty Cox, who has surgery tomorrow. We lift Betty up in prayer to you, that you would give her peace and that all would go well and that she might have a good recovery and total healing. Lord, I thank you that Dawn had good results. Dawn sampled today with her eye procedure. Thank you for that. Thank you for Alan Markland and the good results that he had recently with the heart pacemaker procedure that he had. We pray for the family of Barb Harrison, that you would give them comfort and peace. Thank you for her life. Thank you that she was an encourager in so many ways. What a nice, wonderful person and a big part of our church. Thank you for her life. Thank you for those who are helping with Meals on Wheels this week from our church. For Betty for coordinating that, and for the ones who have been faithful, new ones who are helping out. Thank you for that ministry. And as we look at other ministries coming up, the Halloween ministry and World Hunger and the Samaritan's Purse shoe boxes that we'll be collecting soon, Lord, help us to be a blessing to other people. Lord, we love you, and I thank you for your good news that you give us, and help us to be good news to other people. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen. Thank you all for tuning in. God bless you. Have a great rest of the week.